Keep the following questions in mind while reviewing your sources. Who is the author and why are they sharing this information with us? Can you trace the claims they make back to reliable sources? And how old is the information? Different authors bring different backgrounds and experiences to their writing, which can shape their viewpoints and biases. If you know an author's credentials, it's easier to understand what underlying perspectives or biases influence their work. It also helps us determine if the author is an expert who is qualified to make their claims. Most experts on a topic will have an academic background related to it or an established career in the field. If you're looking at a scholarly article, the author is probably listed on the first page with their degrees and the institution where they work, and you can usually find their resumes or biographies on their institution's webpage. If you're looking at a magazine or newspaper article, the author's name will usually appear in the byline, and sometimes you'll see a link to their biography. If you're looking at a web page, there might be a blurb about the author on the bottom of the page, or an about page with a biography, or at least more information about the website's mission. For more information about an author, try Googling their name or searching for them on Wikipedia. You want to know if they have a scholarly or career background in the topic, what organizations they're connected to, if their writing is funded by any particular organization, or if they're known to have a specific point of view on a topic. You can do this for websites and publishers that you haven't heard of, too. This can often help you determine what their intended audience is and any biases they might have. For this assignment, you might also be considering personal stories as sources. For example, interviews, narratives, blog posts, or case studies from people who aren't necessarily scholars, but who have first-hand experience dealing with your topic. These stories can provide important details and insights that just aren't captured by numerical data. But it's also important to think about them in the wider context of your topic. Remember that one person's story is a piece of a larger picture, and just like any other writing, you should think about how that information is being presented, why, and how it correlates with other sources that you found. Most scholarly publications will include a reference list, just like the reference list that you'll include in your paper, and they'll use in-text citations or footnotes so you know what sources they're using as evidence for a claim. Websites, newspapers, and magazines don't usually provide reference lists, but a credible source will still tell you where its information is coming from. Keep an eye out for phrases like "in a study published by" or "as reported in," and look for citations at the bottom of graphs or images. Then you can try Googling to find the original source of the information. And you can determine whether that original source is reliable or not, and whether that original information is being presented accurately in the article that you found. Check the publication date. How old is this information? Is it old enough that things might have changed significantly since it was published? Depending on the topic, information from publications older than 5 years may be somewhat out of date because scholars continue to explore and write about topics of interest. Your professor may have provided some guidelines for what publication date ranges are appropriate for your assignment. Older articles can provide historical details or some insight into what people were thinking and saying about your topic at the time. These sources can be helpful if you're trying to analyze historical perspectives or gain background information. But you'll also want to read newer sources so you know what's going on right now.